Hello, everyone. So today again, I came with a new topic. That too, I have chosen because of a lot of YouTube videos are being built on these solution architect practices. And when we talk about the solution architect practices, there are number of facets available into the market. On which segment are we looking for? Which segment we are practicing for? So as of now, I have chosen let's take it forward on the infrastructure side. If you are coming across a requirement where customer is coming to you and asking to stitch the solution on the enterprise level of VDI architecture, like they have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 users, and they want to have a these monolithic structure of laptops and devices should be rid of. And they would like to go for BYOD concept where, on the fly they can launch their desktop and they can work on their applications. So this will give them the flexibility. They can access this entire desktop over the network, irrespective whether they are into the office or traveling or at home or hotel. All they need is the internet. So, what I'll do is, after finishing this video, you would be able to understand how one as an admin, one as an architect can give the solution for any enterprise or SMB customers. This is not limited to the technical group, but also as an end user, also you will understand costing model, efficiency, how seamlessly you can have the access of your devices without any interruption. So these are the set agenda for this entire video. It might be little lengthy, reason being the topic is very vast, but I'll ensure that the information which you are going to get out of this video will be of measure. So to start with, let me move on to slides before I go into the whiteboard. If you see, the very first thing is, what are the challenges do we have when we talk about the traditional IT infrastructure? When I say traditional IT infrastructure is going to be your data center. Typically, what we have is a data center where you are maintaining your servers, your all the control points, where you will be hosting your servers, network devices, storage devices, equipments, cooling down devices to maintain your data center. And at the same time, you have to maintain the security aspect so that any threat can be prevented. However, still you will be at risk of disasters, right? Like earthquake or flood. So obviously, you will be on stake to lose the complete data and infrastructure. However, these are the challenges I'm highlighting as of now. So if you see, whatever the hardware you are buying, right? Nowadays, if you see every 6 months, people are coming with the new models, whether it is automobile, every 6 months, new model will be arrived of your same car which you have bought probably a quarter ago. Be it in your mobile phones, the moment you have bought, you start counting the days when it is going to be retired. Because within 6 months, you will get obviously on the same brand will launch new model with new features. The same way it goes in our ITL. In a blink of the eyes, we are changing the technology, we are changing the names of the technology. Let's say that, for example, on the Citrix VDI itself, on Citrix also, what has happened? And I wanted to put the highlighters on all this. It's okay, fine. So, so I was trying to explain that every now and then things are changing, and that should be right. Change is by default nature of our world and nature. So, coming back to the point, when we talk about the challenges which we foresee are traditional IT infrastructure, the very first thing and foremost is legacy hardware. What is that? This outdated hardware will definitely limit the performance and scalability. And that too, if it is a major roadblock when you are thinking about the growth of your business in terms of the application, data size, and enlarging or deploying the new applications. The same goes with the complex management, right? So traditional IT infrastructure requires complex management, leading to high operational cost and inefficiencies. Inefficiencies in terms of what? Like, since you have a limitations perform the task on your given particular application, which is hosted on the hardware, obviously you'll not be able to do. Let me give you the example in the very same manner. You might have noticed there are some legacy mobiles which are running on their old hardwares, and you will not be able to update the WhatsApp or even Facebook. This is also kind of applications, right? Having a dependency of your hardware, firmware, their RAMs, CPUs, and because of their inefficiency or their compatibility issues are there, that's the reason you are not able to update your hardware or applications. Now, the third point is going to be on the security risk. In the legacy systems, they are prone to security vulnerabilities, which is very obvious. Whenever you design any apps, there would be some limitations by nature. If at all you are not meeting the criteria, you are exposed to the security risk. So, risking data is a breaches and compliance issue. Is very tough. Now, when we talk about the compliance, that is also coming on individual level or organization level or even enterprise level. If you go in any big enterprise which is the solution, what do they ask? They have a number of queries like your solution should be capable of having at least VPN-less solution, where I don't have to connect now and then on the VPN in order to access my IT resources or office resources. You have to still the solution in the same requirement and ensuring that you are meeting the 100% compliance. There is no breaches of data or no, you are not risking the data. Be it anywhere, be it anywhere, whether you are starting from your VPC via firewall or doing the netting or even on the operating system level also, how you are doing the updates, hardenings, endpoint protections, which antivirus you are using, everything you have to count. And then again, most of the time I have come across, 200, 300 questions will be coming like how your solutions are going to verify whether client security postures are intact before you give them the access. Or they will ask that, okay, whenever you are launching the VDI, ensure that screen recording is disabled. No one can record the screen. For example, probably if you have tried, go ahead and check. If you're using your mobile and trying to capture your screen, if you have opened the Google Pay, you will not be able to record this for that payment. So these are the requirements are coming and we have to deliver this. Whatever the screen print, if you want to take the screen print like screenshot, that should be disabled. Key logging, let's say we have an endpoint and through that key you are trying to connect, it should not be enabled. So these are the challenges comes in whenever we are thinking about the data center, typical data center in the IT delivery. Now, when we talk about the why VDI, why virtual desktop interface, benefits of the VDI is going to be that it will improve the end user experience. Right? No more legacy laptop, no more legacy software, no more legacy desktop. Each and every time you will get the brand new operating system, which is traveling over the network and ready to consume as soon as hitting the button of your access. So when I say improve the user experience is nothing but your virtual desktop infrastructure enhances user experience by delivering consistent performance across the devices and locations. When I say locations means irrespective of your presence, as long as you have internet, right? And move on. So here, if you talk about the use cases of the VDI in SMB, so when I say SMB, or consumer centers or in enterprise. These are nothing but the topology given to categorize your end users volume or the type of customers you are engaging, right? Now, the very first and foremost things of the VDI is that seamless experience, easy to operate. So when you say business continuity, VDI ensures business continuity by enabling seamless access to critical applications and given data, saved data, available data, even in case of any disruption. So if you remember, in my first slide, I have already highlighted that the major roadblock of your typical data center is going to be your service depression or disruptions in data availability or services availability. What happens? In that case, if any hazards happens, if a disaster happens, flood happens, your data center is completely collapsed. There is an outage, big outage. Business is completely stopped. But and in such kind of scenario, nobody is going to opt out your services if at all they are SMB, like a small travel agency company or any educational institute where probably the students are giving the practical exam or their board exams. Obviously, they will not opt out such kind of desktop platform where complete services itself is disrupted. So to come out from that, you have a solution called VDI. VDI solution is best fitting for that. Now, when you're thinking about to propose the VDI solution, what all the key components of VDI solution can be. Right? So this is what I'm going to capture. What all the key components you should consider as a solution architect as an enterprise organization member, that what all these features and the components are going to involve part of when your solutions is going to be. The same way it will be on the VDI deployment processes also. Whenever you are deploying the VDI, there should be some process, right? What all those processes will be covered in a next few minutes. Now, also when you're talking about the component, when you're talking considering about the segmentation of the end user, at the same time, you have to ensure that your security consideration in VDI implementation has been thought through, and very meticulously you have stitched the points in your solution. There are instances we have seen that just because of the security consideration, people have failed in their L1, failed in participating and getting the bid or PO just because of the security posture. And obviously, it is very important. Now, it comes to which kind of product you are considering when it comes to give the solution, whether it is going to be from the VMware, or sorry, now it's Broadcom. So, we have Broadcom, they have a product called VMware Horizon, or you are thinking about the Citrix, or you can think about the Nutanix, or we have a Echo. So one of the right product we have to choose before you start stitching the solution. Now, the attributes, what attributes we are looking for any of the VDI solution is, whether it's a scalable, flexibility of the VDIs are there or not. Do we have any downtime involved in order to make any upgrade or making a scalability set? How about the costing is gonna be involved? How easily you can generate the report in terms of the cost? What are the resource utilization is there? How can it be optimized? These all features and factors should be a part of your VDI. Now, other aspect before you go for the user experience is that you also need to consider 7 hours. What those 7 hours are? Like the 7 hours is starting with your first relocate. So whatever the infrastructure cost you are going to incur for this VDI solution, consider that can it be relocated also? Can we rehost it second hour? So the same way, relocate, rehost, then replatform, then refactor. After refactoring, ensure that at least the bare minimum hardware can be retained. If you are not able to retain, then only you have to go and opt out the last option, which is going to be retire. So if you are not able to reclaim or retain, then definitely you have to opt for the retire. So these are the 7 hours one has to consider whenever we are stitching any solution. Now, when we are talking about the user experience and performance in the VDI, obviously your solution should be having a steps where your use cases are tested very well. Probably you should also be giving the POC. proof of concept to the user, especially when enterprise users are coming. And likewise, you can go on and on, ensuring that the performance of the VDI is intact, well tested before you go and do the actual. Now, the key aspect is going to be integration with cloud services. So it's my personal experience. Whenever you go and start giving the solution, the very first thing it comes like nobody is ready to retire their entire infrastructure. No companies will allow you because there are certain services which they are going to consume from their on-prem or data center. And that's where you have to think that how flexible your public cloud is, whether you are going to choose Google Cloud or it is going to be your AWS or it's going to be Azure Cloud. So be it anything, or you can go for the OCI Oracle Cloud, or you can go even for the Nutanix, any private cloud also you can choose. Number of people are giving the private clouds nowadays. Like HP Nimble is there, we have a Cisco, you have in this. The very good is like again, as I said, that Broadcom is there. They're also very popular. They are claiming that they are full CI or VCF their product. And the same way you can go for the Azure hosting services on the cloud. Citrus is also there. Number of things are there. So aspect from the cloud services is also should be considered. Now, case study is something which I'll cover in the later part of the discussion. Once we have staged the solution, implemented, I mean, given the walkthrough to our delivery team, they were able to implement the entire component successfully, then I think we can go for the testing and use cases uh, to prepare the case study. Then we'll have to consider at least a little bit futuristic goal, like 5 years from the trend perspective. Like what could be the future trend and how we are going to leverage those changes in our solution. And then we can go and do the conclusion. So conclusion is nothing but how the entire solution is going to transform. Once you have done this, then I think we can go for this write-up of the solution. Okay, so as I had promised that I'll come back on the leftover part, so I'll start here. So when we're talking about the very first thing on putting the architecture of VDI solution. So let me rephrase what exactly are we talking about here is we are looking the best practices of VDI solution. This is required for whom? As an architecture, as an architect, for enterprise customers, or it can be even for SMB customers, or it can be for consumers, right? Now, so the discussion what we are doing is that whenever we come and talk about giving the VDI solution, first and foremost, you have to identify what is your target audience. Let's say I'm giving a solution for an right. So probably they might be having, let's say, 4,000 users they are considering of. To start with, how much? To start with, they are just looking as of now to deploy for 2,000 users, right? 2,000 users as immediate basis. So from the day one, we are going to start how much? For 2,000 users. So from the day one, if you're going to start 2,000 users, ensuring that it should be scalable for 4,000 users. What is cost going to be involved? How easily this solution is going to be available? And what is the infrastructure cost? What all the components from public cloud we are going to acquire that will be chargeable from the day first. So these all things we have to consider. So now the second things comes in like what exactly the objective we have. When I say the objective, people will say, like, whenever you go through the RFP and all the requirement will come that, okay, what exactly that enterprise is looking for. Most of the time, what is the real time scenarios? Real time scenarios I can share with my experience, guys. And this is definitely a very helpful video gonna be if at all you're going to pay attention on these lines. So the very first thing they'll come that, okay, VDI solution, right? VDI solution. Your solution should be capable of having at least VPN-less based VDIs. VPN-less based. Why? Because they don't want to connect back and forth again on your VPN, and once connectivity established, then only they want. All they want is the internet. Over the internet, they should be able to spin up their VDI. Right? Second, from anywhere, any device. They should be able to launch. They should be able to launch their VDI from anywhere, any device, right? And what sometimes they do are that they don't want any client. Most of the time, if you say citrus receivers, is very popular, right? So you need some plugins on your device. When I say device, is your base device, like your laptop, mobile, anything. One plugin, then only you can launch your components or your desktop. That is also not required. They don't want any device, any plugin to launch the VDI. Pay attention, guys. I'll ensure that it is going to be very clear about the need. Then number of configuration they are going to need. Number of configuration. When I say what, your solution should be, very well validated to the client security posture. When I say client security posture on their existing infrastructure, when you are going to do the connectivity, whether it's as site to site, point to site, or it is going to be any express route kind of connectivity. Right? When you are going to do the connectivity from their existing on-prem, obviously there should be number of validation from their security posture. You should be meeting it. Now they'll come on the configuration part. What exactly the configuration is? Like, you should be restricting the screen recording. When you're launching your VDI from your device, there is no screen recording, right? This is also one thing. The screen recording comes in, right? It should be stopped because any important transaction can be recorded and that can be misused in later on. So, like the same way screen printing. Then we have key logging is also sometimes it should be disabled. So one as an architect need to consider what else. So your solution, whatever the solution you are giving, solution should be able to block unwanted websites, right? From client locations these because these resources are being used or going to be utilized or consumed over the internet, right? So that device should be smart enough to block the number of URLs. That can be done very easily, be it any solution provider. From the VDI perspective, I'm telling you that you can do it. Now, another question is coming, or people may ask that, okay, I also want to ensure that we have a data loss prevention capability by either you can block the interaction with end user device or we can do the chip redirection. So what I can see precisely the requirement comes in like your solution should provide data loss prevention capability. So data loss prevention capabilities by what? By blocking the interactions with end users devices. So that's where you can prevent your data loss. Or sometimes they will also ask clipboard for file copy paste, printer redirection, or even USB redirection. These all things will ask. Peripheral devices, you can say, right? Peripheral devices redirection or plug-in play. These all should be prevented. Most of the, now enterprise companies are blocking whatever the device you as an employee might be getting, your USB might be blocked. You will not be able to plug in the USB and use it. So that's another preventive measures we as an organization ensure that implemented to ensure that data is protected, data is ensured, security is enforced. Now, another question, since we are talking, will remain focused. At least 100 questions we'll try to imbibe here. That what all the questions comes in, what all the security postures we need to imbibe, and what all the features we need to bring into our VDI. So when people are working from home, right, those security policies work from home. If they work from home, usually policy should be one. That's one thing. Now, what else? Let's say you have a solution, right? VDI, and you do want to have a flawless experience. Like there's a less bandwidth, but still your videos, audios which are being rendering on your VDI should be seamless. That also can be achieved. So what I can see here, like optimized this ignore the when and to HTML browser, right? Why I'm saying HTML browser? Because it should be 5.5 onwards. Before that, it will not support. Now, when you talk about the end user devices, what all the kind of devices we can think of where user may launch this VDI is one mobile based devices like that. Then you have a Windows laptop, desktop, Linux OS, right? These all devices should be supporting launching the VDI. Now, another security you can implement is time-based based in hardware. That's the one thing. Then we can also think like, what if somebody is looking for the log maintenance? Whatever the security postures are there, at least we can have the monitoring. So all the users activity monitoring and logging. That is also one thing, and which should be part of your solution. Right? Now, they'll also say that persistence, right? So session persistence across office and home IP address with uh, there are challenges. Either they will ask that okay, sessions should be persistent with account authorizations, or sometimes sessions should be seamless without even authorization. That is also can be done. Then they should be having some dashboard, and interact with the users like this. Then we can also think of your solution, whatever we are touching, should be able to deliver the virtual desktop in terms of what operating system, whether it's Windows operating system or Linux with full VDI, and vice versa, like applications virtualization also can be done, which is very much obvious with the types of security features we can deploy the application. So I feel like solution should be able to work. Guys. apps, URLs, and desktop might be number one. Station, shared, dedicated, code. Okay, so since this is fed, I will try to, you can save these screen and I'll start from beginning. Otherwise, this is going to be full and I have to scroll it down. So again, to start with line number 15, what all? Uh, uh, let's say you have published one URL, right? So that URL should be, you should be able to purge whether it's a browser or agent cache for Windows as well as your Red Hat Linux users. Okay? Then you can also see what is the session history. Do they have, if they are storing any cookies or passwords. Then solution will also come on that what is the real-time statics. Real-time statics also, whether they are looking any real-time statistics, real-time for whom? Like their users, their IP addresses, their TCP connections, and system use. Right? So these things also should be a part of your solution. And then the important things will come like, okay, whatever the DC and DR concept you have, think of DC and DR in real time, how long will it take to make sure that your DR is ready to be consumed by business? Right? So it is going to be a DCDR active, 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 or active passive. That is also something to think of before you propose this. Now, for the DC and DR, obviously, in case if you're procuring any hardware, be it your solution is going to be on private cloud, then obviously you have to have the permission from the cybersecurity team, whether your hardwares are meeting the criteria, meeting the standards or not. Then, most of the time I have seen people are also coming with their log retention periods. Log retention. Whatever the logs their entire infrastructure is generating, how long they want to use that. 6 months, 1 year, 3 months. Most of the cases, 3 to 6 months is more than sufficient. So 3 to 6 months means 90 to 180 days. Your, your solution should be sufficient enough to provide this log mint. Now, other things are also coming into there are number of things. The reason behind I have started asking on this that all the requirement you should be gathering enough, you should be writing it down, then only you can reach on a position where you can stitch the solution for them. Right? They will talk about solution should also allow proactive notification alerting functionality where you can set the warning on default alert policies and critical threshold for various conditions, right? A user, for example, I'm giving a user who is connected and has not logged off from last 8 hours. So what is the policy? What is the configuration you have done so that if at all it is going to be on the bottleneck or it is going beyond the limit, uh, those sessions automatically get disconnected. Reason being, if it is configured, you are going to save the cost in terms of your license consumption, in terms of your resource utilization. So these features also should be enabled in your solution. Then again, it will come like, how about your solution is having the anti-screen capture capabilities, which I have already discussed, right? The screen capture should be prevented. Sometimes people are also coming like, okay, how you're going to do the printer disabling and all. Can we do it or not? you have to say yes if you have the capability on that particular solution with the Citrix. Or I'm not naming now any product which you have taken, it should be having the feature, right? Now they may also most of the time, I mean, it will be asked like your solution should report parameters like a username, session ID, session bandwidth, start time, uptime, client IP address, server IP address, client versions, client type such as Windows or Mac or HTML5 or session reconnects or country, region, city, etc. So it should be have a reporting mechanism in place. So any given point of time, you can populate the report of any users, and it will give a very linear, crystal clear report, so that you should be having the good grip on your resource utilization. Then moving on with OQ notification, I have already spoken. Let me think of like okay, so audio and video is also part of this. So your solution should also having the offloading of video and audio of real-time communication for Micro's team. Like right now, most of the companies are using Teams, right? So Micro's Teams, Microsoft Skype for Business, Cisco Jabber Zoom, like Zoom recordings and all. It should be able to do the without air pinning of the video and audio while data center, right? So probably the cache mechanism, folder redirections are the features you can utilize. Now, what to do with the CPU heavy workloads? How we are going to deploy if the applications are demanding some CPU heavy workloads or the session-based virtual desktop without impacting active interactive applications experience. So these features also can be vibed here and you can deliver as a solution. So these are the number of things which I wanted to cover in this topic. So many things are there, but yes, if these basic things are put in our mind, definitely we can design a best solution for the VDI. Now, um, probably in my upcoming video, I'm also going to ensure that when you are going or thinking about the solution for enterprise level, so first of all, you have to categorize, right? Categorize which kind of the solution you are thinking about. Category means enterprise or SMB or consumer base. So if you are thinking about, so basically you have to think like, okay, your solution should be having at least three outlines. Okay, three or two. One is going to be your control plane. Another one is going to be your data plane. What this control plane basically here, the control plane is okay. And here, this is your data plane. So in the control plane, what all you are going to keep here in the control plane, you are going to place your infrastructure servers, databases, right, and your active for authentication. Right. So here it is going to be your ready, uh, your secure, and then here you can place your DBs. And this entire infrastructure I'm talking about is going to be in your HA mode. So here you can place your DBs, your address, file servers. File servers means if at all you're using, then definitely you should keep here. And then Um, you can put your security services. Like if you have um, antivirus servers or the management consoles, you can for data plane, you're free to go and deploy your iWorks. This is going to be your iWorks. Then secondary, you can put your RODCs as well, if at all you have multiple sites. So for the Active Directory, which is going to be talking from here, right? Um, how to denote this? Active Directory, right? So you can put one RODC also. Okay? RODC servers you can place. And then if you are so this entire configuration or this entire architecture I'm talking about in terms of the enterprise. So they are going to have a dedicated control plane and data plane. But this entire things will be changed if at all you're going to talk about SMB or consumer segment. Because you don't, neither you will be able to spend this much for the SMB or consumers, nor consumer will be ready to afford this much cost. So this is directly proportionate to the cost. So one has to be, be careful. Now, this is the plain design I have. Now, as of now, under the high secure, we have a MFA, right? On the public cloud also, we can enable the MFA, multi-factor authentication, which I have not yet considered. It's going to be a plain design. After the MFA, we have a number of security enforcement from the network side itself. I can do. Let's say the firewall, your firewall, where the user is going to be here. Okay. Here we have let me choose. This is the user. Users are coming from here. Users are coming to where? Users will come to the firewall of your VPC. Right? Your entire infrastructure is under what? VPC. One VPC, I would say. This is going to be your one of the VPC. This VPC will be having one firewall. That firewall will be where? Let me tell you. This is going to be your firewall. Through the firewall, user will enter into your infrastructure through the firewall. So end users, they are coming to you over the internet and through the firewall, they are entering here. Again, I can say this will confuse you. So I'll prepare one new diagram as a designing perspective, and I'll ensure that on the internet, how your DNS URL is going to be accessed, and the URL is going to have the landing page. That landing zone will be created on the high secure server. From high secure servers, your authentication services will be evoked to authenticate. And if at all you are having the multi-factor authentication configured, then that service also will be revoked. And once the pass-through done, then only it will go for the high works or the populating the number of application desktops are entitled to access. Once user is clicking on that particular application, again the access will be authorized and launched for the end user. So that's how this entire flow unfold in your infrastructure. That's all basically I wanted to cover in this video. I look forward a little more design prospective video for the entire VDI architecture in very soon, probably in a days or two to give you the detail on that. Till then, thank you for watching this video and don't forget to subscribe.